Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for watching Mubasher Lucman YouTube channel. And you have heard the big news. Donald Trump, the President of the United States of America, will be impeached now. Whether that is successful or not, only time will tell. I don't think it will be a successful move in the upper house. But having said that, the President is seriously injured politically. And whether the American voters can now truly go back and reconsider their options or not, that is something only time will tell. But we have today with us Mr. Shahid Ahmed Khan, a member of the US Democrat Party or Democratic Party, and he's here to face the onslaught on Donald Trump, and let's see if he can defend Donald Trump or not. But by the way, would you like to defend him over something like this? Something so petty? I mean, he's acted like a thief, as a crook.
Well, you just said, first of all, thank you very much for having me here. You just said I am part of the democratic machine, so, and it seems like, or, that it is a partisan politics in a way, the way the Republicans are framing it. However, you understand the President of the United States has committed something which which is asking for his impeachment, or a country like America, nobody is above the law, so this is what it is. तो उसमें प्रेसिडेंट होना जो है वो ये उसका मतलब नहीं था वो डोनाल्ड ट्रंप है और उससे पहले ये इज द थर्ड वन राइट सो बट जो भी है डेमोक्रेटिक है रिपब्लिकन है बट इफ ही ब्रेक्स द लॉ एंड डज समथिंग व्हिच इज नॉट क्वाइट ही इज सपोज्ड टू डू compromising the Congress, compromising the nation, compromising the ethics, compromising the, and in a way, taking a path which is not...
I have to take you back to the elections. I have to take you back to the elections. The previous elections that were, I mean, that was an election between exposed females and exposed emails. And obviously the Americans chose the emails and they decided not to vote for them. But having said that,
very unusual election,
America always stood for two things: strong family values and respect and admiration of the immigrant community.
That is true.
However, in the previous elections, we saw both was sent packing out of the window. What do you have to say? Will America ever regain its former glory that your founding fathers thought of or founded the nation on?
I think it will. I think it will. I mean, first of all, we have to understand that America is pretty much equally split between Republicans and Democrats, right? And then we have these states which are considered like borderline states. So that's where the elections are decided, right? So the swing states makes the difference, right? So let's say Hillary Clinton even got more votes than Donald Trump, but Donald Trump still won, right? So पहली तो बात ये समझने वाली है कि लोग ऐसे नहीं कि एकदम कोई चीज़ change हो गई है. A country of immigrants has changed to something else. However, I mean, the bottom line is he won. He won from the swing states with a very slim margin, right? So country की spirits तो खत्म नहीं हुई ना उससे, वो तो वैसे ही है. It's a country of immigrants. I mean, it's a country.
Having said that, people are aware of the fact that Meryl Streep, Robert De Niro, Oprah Winfrey, they seriously disliked President Trump.
Well,
and by the way, I love Meryl Streep and I love Robert De Niro. So I mean, he has he's on my left side. Let me put it this way. But now it seems that Tom Cruise is ready to jump the board, and he wants to run for the elections.
Yes.
Do you think it will be a strong? He'll be a strong candidate or not?
Well, first of all, there are quite a few in the democratic politics which are very famous. That includes, the people who are, and the latest entry from the former mayor of New York, which is a big deal. He is celebrity himself, Bloomberg, right? I mean, has quite a few 66.
Yeah, but I mean, outside New York, he's not really a celebrity.
Well, in a way, I mean,
Maybe
he
on the East
controls.
Coast, but
Yes,
when you go towards Ohio and all those swing states, and I don't
I
think.
mean, he has resources. He has delivered. He has done whatever. The point is that
But what
the
if Tom
internal.
Cruise is running
Well,
and
that is a serious thing, right? I mean, Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise, right? And he, man with a good reputation, and I'm glad he's running. I mean, I'm glad somebody like Tom Cruise has decided to challenge.
I wanted Meryl Streep or Oprah to run against Trump. I mean, they were iconic as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very unusual times in the United States as well. It is hard to say anything bad about the president's office, but what I'm just saying is generally the liberal who believe in equal rights and liberty and pursue happiness and the right of immigrants and the protection of Constitution, they are extremely unhappy. They are extremely unhappy, and they just want to get the White House back. So,
But there is one problem.
which is.
I don't think you Democrats have any clue as to how you're going to beat Mr. Trump. And you're just hoping for the best. And and besides that, you don't have much of a strategy.
But it happens.
You don't have a candidate either.
But it always happens in the presidential elections, where Mr. Trump came in. I mean, there were quite a few qualified candidates, so to speak, on paper, and he beat all of them, and he got the nomination, and he became the president. And previously, you have seen people.
But I
Clinton
think
came from
I
Arkansas,
seriously
right?
think
So
that you people.
nobody knew about
I
him,
seriously
right?
believe that you people lost your elections. Trump did not win it. I mean, you have to take the
That
blame for that.
I agree. There was some complacency. I think that's what happened, because if you look at the polls, right? I mean, if you even the day of election, till 5 p.m., right? So it was. If you look at the polls, Hillary was way ahead in the game. So I mean, there was all deceptive data which made people lot, complacent. They
No,
said,
but the
when
fact
we
of
are
the
winning,
matter,
why do
the
we have to
fact
go
of
out
the
and
matter
vote,
is
right?
that Hillary Clinton and her teammates were trying to swing Republican states into Democratic states, and they failed to concentrate on their own strengths. Detroit, Michigan, that's a
Ohio,
really clear example.
Pennsylvania,
Ohio,
yeah.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I mean, you never went there. And 2 days before the elections, when I think President Clinton went over there, he was really cheered off.
Yeah.
And that was a bad day.
I know. That was
I mean, we knew at that time that you'd lost the election.
yeah, yeah. Well, what happened is,
So I didn't have to wait till 5 p.m.
no, but the thing is, I mean, American presidential race is almost like $2 billion race, right? So each side has to raise $1 billion plus. So that these are the kind of benchmarks they establish in last God knows how many decades, right? So Hillary Clinton was focusing on that part, because you have to buy media time, you have to travel, you have to do what? You have to banners and posters and whatever. So it's cost a lot of money. So she was more focused on raising money because polls were favoring her, right?
Yeah, that's surprising, because she was rich by $24 million before the race even began, because she had that money from a previous run against John Kerry.
Yeah, so
So she had,
DNC
she had
has
to
a lot
work
of
for
money.
little
Yeah.
amount.
No, but what I'm saying is, but these myths did not they fail, right? I mean, as a matter of fact, Trump didn't spend that kind of money. He did not even raise that kind of money. He did not even come close to raising that kind of. But he was, he was too focused, or his team was too focused. There was an article on the cover which says the man who made the president, right? So Jared Kushner was on the front page. So now you're looking back and you see why Mr. Trump was going to these small constituencies where John Podesta did not even think about, the campaign manager didn't even think about from the Democratic side, and why we were not focusing on the, sort of Democratic state, but kind of swing state, 3 or 4 you just mentioned, Why didn't we? Because
Even
we just
Florida
took
came
them
as a
for
surprise, well, didn't it? I mean, I thought Florida may make a difference. It did not.
Florida has its own.
Dynamics.
I mean, certain counties. I mean, you just wait to see. I mean, these are the Democratic counties. So you wait till those polls, those results come out, and you keep your finger crossed. I hope this is going to be out in
But
Democrats'
there's a
favor.
major difference at that time, and that was Bernie Sanders. That didn't go in your favor. You think you'll be able to omit that kind of a split this time?
Bernie Sanders is so we have another
He really
candidate.
brought down the entire campaign.
Bernie Sanders is a socialist, right? So he is the way he feels. I mean, most of the people they do
But he
not
pulled
understand.
out too late in the race, didn't he? By that
Well,
time, the
yeah, but
damage had been done.
he has built that. He just want to take money from DOD and put it in the educational system of the U.S., which is practically impossible. But
Honestly, I
he
never.
sold that idea to the youngsters, right?
Yeah, I
So
never realized Trump would actually get the ticket from the Republicans because I thought he
that
was
was
more
the
like Ross Perot or somebody.
that was the most amazing part, right?
Yeah,
That
that
I
was
mean,
surprising. That was surprising.
having very credible people in
Yeah.
the mix, right? And he beat all of them. You
In the
little
primaries.
guy, you slow guy,
I thought
whatever.
he would be like
He
Jesse
insulted all
Jackson
of
or
them,
Ross
right?
Perot, and
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
be good for the
Yeah,
elections and the
yeah,
media, but
yeah,
otherwise not
yeah.
more. But then he beat all of us.
Yes, so that was actually, as far as I'm concerned, that was the most amazing part. How did he get the nomination out of those very credible, career politicians, and who have delivered, families has delivered, and he beat them all.
The
So,
important thing is that
yeah.
Mr. Trump may not be impeached and he may survive this, but it will seriously damage his credentials for the next election. And before that, he has to pull a cat out of the bag or a rabbit out of the bag, depends whatever way you look at it. And one of that will be to bring home American troops from Afghanistan or have some kind of a deal with the Taliban that will make him look good in front of his voters, and he can claim that he's achieved his electoral rhetoric that was before the outset. Now, for that he needs Pakistan, and I'm betting on one thing, that suddenly relations between Pakistan and the US will improve greatly and at a very fast pace. Do you buy that?
I mean, this is you have a good judgment. I think what's going to happen is, and this is happening since last many weeks now, and very recently, like a couple of days ago, U.S. has offered Pakistan to get back into military training and the joint training and whatever. That is a very symbolic.
Good indicator.
I mean, this is the where it starts and it ends, right? So the DOD interaction with the Pakistan Army. So this is going to be a big deal, right? I mean, everything starts after that. And also, Zalmay Khalilzad's multiple trips to Qatar and to Pakistan, and Pakistan's willingness to basically facilitate that deal. Pakistan never backed out. It just Pakistan has to play their cards right. I think this is another opportunity, and that's the reason we say Allah Miyan
I
upar
think
nahi baitha hai.
Pakistan misses a good lobbying firm in the US on the capital.
I see that all the time, and I say that all the time. They need some media management company and some PR company at least can just create a positive image of Pakistan. And it's pretty simple, straightforward. I understand they have hired a couple of companies, but I don't see them on the map, because the last hearing, which was done by a friend of mine, Jim McGovern from my district, actually from Massachusetts. He's heads the human rights wing of the Congress. So he did that hearing, of course, a lot of input from our side. So I did not see any input from the Pakistan people.
But there is one deadlock. Americans want to be a part of the Afghan government even if Taliban come over there. And Taliban do not want any kind of sharing with the Americans. Americans want every base in Afghanistan to be kept by the Americans and to be maintained and controlled by them. Taliban are not in favor of that. These are two very strong impediments. How do you overcome these?
I think what happened is that America is trying to isolate Taliban from outside support.
And they've not been successful in that.
Well, they have.
I mean, Taliban are there.
You know what I'm just saying.
I mean, you've changed
just
many
that is
presidents, Taliban are still
That
there.
is the strategy, right?
Yeah.
Let's put it this way:
Yeah.
they're successful or not, but that's the strategy to negotiate with Taliban from strength, right? And this is like a normal thing which we do in our life as well. But what I'm just saying is just to isolate them from the whatever support they have from Russia or from some other countries, just isolate them and deal with them with the position of strength. It seems like they have been little successful in doing that. And Taliban are not like, the image of Taliban is not really the way they are. It's actually a business.
Thanks to Hollywood movies.
It's a business enterprise as well, right?
Right.
So it is what they are going to get out of this deal. I mean, it's not going to be based on the religious the code they follow, that we are going to deal with this, from this ayah or from this, sunnah. No, it's not like that. I mean, they are going to deal it what is good for them business-wise. So business-wise, they will, and of course, U.S. understands that. So they will get a little bit, but they're not going to get much.
Shahid Ahmed Khan, thank you for joining us, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in. Do subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you can receive our latest updates on this subject as well as other subjects that we do from time to time. But I do think that Trump will not be impeached successfully finally, and he will stay on. Having said that, it will be very difficult for him to convince the American public again for a win that seemed almost possible a few weeks back. And having said that, that puts Pakistan in a unique position to negotiate or revisit our certain contracts with the US, and I'm sure it will work out well for Pakistan as well. Until next time, Allah Hafiz.